Most of us have been there dealing with those pesky chirps of a smoke alarm with low batteries. Usually happens around 2 or 3 in the morning, at least in my experience. But starting January 1st, you might only need to deal with this about once every decade.
That's because a new state law will require all new smoke alarms installed in your home to feature a 10-year sealed battery. It's a way to further ensure that smoke alarms are always working. So important. Joining us now to talk about the push to make this a law and what it means for you is Executive Director of the Illinois Fire Safety Alliance, Phil Zalesk. Phil, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning to both of you. Thanks so much for having me today.
Yeah, glad you're here to talk about something so important. Talk about the new smoke alarm law. Does this mean people need to maybe update their battery-operated alarms that are currently in the home?
Sure. Well, this is it's actually an update to the current smoke alarm law that went into effect back in 1988. With the new technology that's in place with smoke alarms, we thought that there was a good opportunity for us to update the law here in Illinois to require residents across the state to begin using the 10-year sealed battery smoke alarms versus your traditional 9-volt replaceable smoke alarm batteries. And basically what the update is to the law is that any home that does not have a hardwired system, that's where the electric is built into the alarms in the home, if those homes do not have that, homes probably built before 1988, they're basically going to have to start transitioning over to these new 10-year sealed battery smoke alarms.
Now, the 10-year sealed battery smoke alarms, is that just where technology is at right now, where 10 years is the max we can get out of that kind of battery? How did we get to that 10-year number?
That's a great question. Smoke alarm manufacturers actually cannot guarantee that the sensory device in the units will not last any more than 10 years. So the 10-year battery is actually synced up really well with the technology that has been in place with the sensor. So even if you are testing your smoke alarm every month and you're pushing that test button and the alarm goes off during that test, after 10 years, even if that still happens, the manufacturer can't guarantee that the alarm is going to properly work if there is a fire in your home. So by updating the battery, having it be incorporated into the unit, not be removable, it syncs up perfectly in line with how long that sensory device is able to last in the unit itself.
So often this time of year, we're talking about just horrible fires. And there's always the question of, was there a working smoke alarm in the house? Was it working? Was there a battery? What are some tips for making sure those smoke alarms are working? I know you just mentioned testing them once a month.
Sure. Well, that's the most important thing is testing them once a month. If you do have a smoke alarm with a replaceable battery, the fire department recommends that you replace those batteries every 6 months to ensure that the smoke alarm has power to it and that it is working. Unfortunately, last year there were 97 residential fire deaths in the state of Illinois, and national statistics show that 70% of residential fire deaths occur when there are not working smoke alarms in the home. So it's vitally important to have power to the alarms, testing them to make sure that they work, and then making sure that they have that they're placed in your home in the right spots. That would be every level of the home, outside of the sleeping areas, and then we also recommend, it's not in the state law, but we also recommend having smoke alarms inside every bedroom as well.
Boy, that 70% number really jumps off the page. Before we let you go, anything else in this law besides the 10-year battery that we need to get folks aware of?
Well, 2 things real quick is, one, you don't have to run out on December 31st and get these new smoke alarms. If you have a 9-volt replaceable smoke alarm battery in place right now, that's fine. It's when you go to replace that alarm, when it expires after it's 10 years from the manufacture date, then you're supposed to transition over to the 10-year sealed battery. So there is a little bit of time for people to do that, but we do recommend that you go ahead and go out there now. By not having that opportunity to be tempted to take the battery out of the alarm, you're going to protect yourself, your family, your home, And that's really what we want to see happen is the decrease in residential fire injuries and even deaths.
Yeah, we all want to definitely see a decrease in that. So important. Great information for us to be aware of, just kind of going into the new year, getting a reset. Thanks, Phil Zalesk with the Illinois Fire Safety Alliance. We appreciate you waking up early with us.
Thanks so much for having me.